Okay, the next item is bone development. Bones are going to develop through a process called ossification, which is the deposit basically of calcium in the bones. There are two main types of ossification: intramembranous ossification and endochondral ossification. Intramembranous is called like that because it starts from a membrane. This type of ossification is going to be found basically in flat bones. It goes through a series of processes. There is osteoid tissue here in the mesenchyme. Here you have calcification of the osteoid tissue, which eventually is going to give you the spongy bone. Next one that we have endochondral ossification. Endochondral ossification is basically used for long bones. The endochondral ossification starts with a cartilage. This is inside one's body, and this is when we are born. Eventually, all that cartilage in purple, called epiphyseal plate, which is going to help us grow in length, will turn into bone, and that's when we're going to stop growing. Fetal skeleton, you can see cranial bones. In this case, they're going to be flat bones. These flat bones obviously are going to originate from intramembranous ossification, and right here you have long bones that are going to start with endochondral ossification. The bone growth in length is going to be done through a process of bone elongation. You can see in this bone, this black line is the metaphysis, where the cartilage is going to be found. This is obviously a kid. Why? Because you can see all these black areas where you're going to have the cartilage. It's not an adult because adults don't have these black lines. Bones grow in length because of interstitial growth. We scroll down. The metaphysis where you have the cartilage. Eventually, these areas will no longer have cartilage when everything is going to turn into bone. There's an area of transition basically between the bone and the cartilage. And you're going to find different zones, some of reserved cartilage, some of cell proliferation, cell hypertrophy right here, calcification, and some of bone deposition. We grow in length due to the fact that we have areas of cartilage. We're going to have cartilage until we are, I don't know, maybe 14, 15. We keep scrolling down. Bone widening and thickening. Bone widening happens based on a positional growth. A positional growth is going to grow only on the borders because of the position of calcium by the osteoblast. As this becomes wider and wider, the osteoclast is going to work right here, and it's going to start removing calcium from this area. Basically, more and more bone is going to be deposited on the outer layers of the bone, and that's how it's going to get wider. You scroll down. The next thing that we have in here is bone remodeling. The bone remodeling is going to be based on the stress that the bones are going to suffer, meaning the more activity that your bone has, the more bone deposition is going to have. That's the reason why, for example, bones in your legs are going to be thicker and wider than the bones in your arms, because we are constantly walking, and that stress stimulates more bone deposition.